Well, good morning, my friend. It is Monday morning, and welcome to the Pastor's Podcast. Good to have you along with me this morning as we start out another week, last week of June. And just a few more days left in this month, and then we get into the month of July, middle of summertime. I hope that you had a good weekend. We've had just a miraculous week here at Maranatha Baptist Church. We started last Wednesday night with our vacation Bible school, the best vacation Bible school. Had probably the best one I've ever been in, to be quite honest with you. Man, the children were just, they kept on coming out. Devil fought. But boy, we just had just scores of young children accepting Christ. Well, people getting saved this week. And crowds were tremendous all day yesterday. Packed out house both morning and night. Extra chairs set up. And old time religion's alive if you're willing to work it. And what a great people I get to serve with here. I know this morning some of them may be watching half awake. But you know, the labor to see little children's lives change and influence for right is worth it. And I know people are tired today, and but I got a text early this morning about one of my good men, Brother Dion, and he says, I'm tired, but he says, what a great week. And I appreciate those kind of things that people see, the value of investing in others. That's where it is, my friend. That's where you find joy. I'm glad I'm in a church that's not backing up, but in a church that's going forward for the Lord, and that's what we need in this generation. Well, I want to talk to you this morning about faith living. In Ruth chapter 1, verse 16 and 17, Ruth said, entreat me not to leave thee, or to return from following after thee, for whither thou goest, I will go, and where thou lodgest, I will lodge. Thy people shall be my people, and thy God my God. Where thou diest, will I die, and there will I be buried. It's no mistake that God chose to use Ruth. And the reason he chose to use her, I believe was a big reason, was because of her faith. When Naomi encouraged Ruth to go back to her old life, Ruth chose the Christian way of faith. The verse I just read to you shows how Ruth wanted nothing more than to live for God by faith. And by the way, you can't live for God any other way. She chose the Lord by faith to be saved. And she chose to live for him until the day of her death. Now, you'll never please God until you choose to live by faith. Faith living, it's not always easy, but faith living always experiences God's miraculous power and produces the greatest blessings. Now, the verse I read to you shows 6 characteristics of faith living that you have to choose if you want God to bless your Christian walk. Let me share these characteristics with you. Well, first, faith living desires to stay close to the Lord. Ruth said, entreat me not to leave thee, or to return from following after thee. You'll never live by faith and follow the Lord at a distance. Those who successfully live by faith are those who stay close to the Lord, and you stay close to him by drawing near to him daily through reading his word and prayer. Second, faith living follows the Lord wherever he leads you to go. Ruth said, whither thou goest, I will go. She never drew a line and said, I'm not going there. Those who live by faith never draw lines as to how far they're going to follow the Lord. Those who remove the lines of what they will do for the Lord are those who experience the greatest blessings and the miracles of faith that faith offers to those who they see it to its fullest. Third, faith living lives wherever the Lord would have you live. Ruth said, where thou lodgest, I will lodge. Faith living surrenders where they want to live for where God would want them to live. You see, where God wants you to serve him may not be your choice, but it is where you will find his greatest blessings on your life. I often tell people I would have never chosen Oklahoma City. But boy, I'm glad I moved to Oklahoma City. That's the best place in all the world to serve the Lord. And that, why? Faith. Boy, the miracles of faith. Fourth, faith living runs with the right people. Ruth said, Thy people shall be my people. You'll never live by faith and run with people who live for the world or pattern their lives after the world. You won't live by faith if you don't have friends who also live by faith. You are who you run with. So if you want to live by faith, you must choose friends who live by faith. Fifth, faith living lets God be God in their lives. Ruth said, thy God, my God. You see, faith living attempts great things for God so that God's power can be revealed through their lives. You'll never live by faith if you don't attempt great feats of faith, my friend. Faith is scary, and faith takes you past your limits. But when you get past your limits, it's when God's power now is needed, and that's when God does something. If you live in the safe zone of Christianity and never step out by faith, you're never going to see God's miraculous power in your life. Oh, we live in a day of people that only want to be comfortable. Get out of your comfort zone. Do something for God. Good night. We got a world dying and going to hell. And people are sitting here worried about, well, I want to be comfortable. Yeah, and that's why our nation's going to hell, because of people that won't step out and do something by faith. 6, faith living dies serving the Lord. Ruth said, where thou diest will I die. There will I be buried. If faith living is good enough to do one time, it's good enough to do all the time until the day you die. The greatest testimony you can leave behind is that you never stop living by faith, and you live by faith until the day you die. Someone asked Dr. Lee Robertson, they said, Dr. Robertson, he was at the end of his life. He was in his 90s. Said, Dr. Robertson, if you could do one thing over, what could you do? The great man of faith said, he said, I wish I'd lived more by faith. Imagine that. Imagine that. Oh, my friend. Too many people living by sight. Too many people backing up. We don't need to back up. Got to go forward. Stop saying, well, I just don't want to run people in the ground. What are you talking about? There's a joy in serving the Lord. You don't run people into the ground. You serve the Lord, and that's where the joy comes from. That's where the energy and the strength comes. God uses us. Too many people playing in the world instead of serving the Lord. Hey, serve the Lord. That's where true joy comes from. I'm telling you, there's something about faith living that excites people to do something. Why don't you step out by faith? Why don't you try to do something for God? Be like Ruth, who says, you know what? I'm not going to just do faith one time. I want to do it till the day I die. I want to follow the right people. I want to get out there and step out by faith. No, it's not easy, but it's the best way to live. Well, my friend, I hope this is a great challenge for you today. Now, let's remember today, let's be good to everybody. Everybody's having a tough time. Have a great day, my friend.